disease related to bacteria, and yesterday we have discussed disease related to rice tungro, that is virus, rice tungro disease, and the another disease in tobacco, that is tobacco mosaic disease.
Mosaic virus.
So these two are related to virus, you know. So yesterday we have discussed about the viral diseases causing by different plants, different family members, Solanaceae family members of different plants caused by tobacco mosaic disease, and to rice tungro disease, tungro virus. The various types of the species related to virus are caused by rice tungro disease, stunted growth. Today we are going to discuss about the disease related to bacteria, that is bacterial angular leaf spot of cotton, and the second disease, bacterial blight in paddy. So these are the two diseases we are going to discuss today. Okay, shall we continue? Yeah. So first disease we are going to discuss here, that is angular leaf spot of cotton. Angular leaf spot of cotton. So this slide shows about how the cotton bolls and cotton leaves are affected, shows different patches or different spots related to our disease. Our today topic, that is angular leaf spot of cotton. Okay, then the introduction related to our leaf spot of cotton. So this leaf spot of cotton is also we are found in bacterial blight, is found in all the major cotton producing areas of the world, not only in India, all over the world. Whenever they are cultivating cotton crops, the countries are affected by this disease. However, it remains potentially important disease because of the variability of the pathogen and the appearance of new races. So this disease depends upon the various species, my dear friends. Only the species, not only a single species caused by this disease. So different species able to infect the disease on the leaves of the cotton. The main cause of yield loss is the blackcurrant. Blackcurrant symptom which results from the loss of the fruiting branches. So in this disease, not only we are the loss of the yield, even though the depends upon the appearance of these symptoms of the black patches on the fruits, the fruits also is going to fall down without maturing, and even though the branches, fruiting branches also, they are going to dry and decay. Then the ball rot. Ball rot means we can say that the fruits of the cotton we can call as cotton bolls, you know, cotton bolls. So the ball rot can occur when the bacterium is introduced through the carpel wall on the stylet of insects, such as species of Discus. Okay, this is the species caused by this ball rot. And in India, the losses of more than 5 to 20% were common in crops. According to Varma and Singh in 1971, here, both of their research on this crop field, in our India, 5 to 20% lost through this disease. Then Mesharam and Ross reported that disease intensities of 56.4 and 53.2% resulted in losses of 25%, 25.08% and 23.68% respectively. The Mesharam et al. Reported losses between the 19 to 27% of different cultivars of cotton in our India. Even the bacterial blight continues to cause substantial losses in India. Our losses of 20 to 27 have been reported in our India. So not only in India, the entire world major crop of this is a commercial crop, you know. The cotton is a commercial crop. The major crops are cultivated all over the world. The cultivated areas are affected by this disease, angular leaf spot of cotton. The symptoms appeared in different parts of the plant, even though leaves and fruiting bodies and stem branches also we are observed on the various parts of the plant. The most common and conspicuous symptom is angular leaf spot, which begins with dark green water-circled spots, initially more clearly visible on the underside of the leaf lamina. The spots are angular in shape, being delimited by the smaller veins. Here, what we observed, the first symptom we are observed whenever these bacterial blight or this pathogen attack on the plant or a healthy plant, the leaves is going to the shows the angular leaves model. Even though the green patches and different spots we are observed on the underside or lower surface of the epidermis of the leaf lamina or leaf blade. So the spots are angular in shape, even the being limited by the smaller veins. Even the veins are also affected by this disease. Then the whenever the spots are older, the older spots become dark brown or black and are visible on the upper surface of the leaves. Even though the lower surface, the younger the disease in early stages, we are observed the lower surface of the leaf lamina, wherever the older spots become dark brown, we are and are visible or appearance on the upper surface of the leaves. The angular spots may be few in number in more resistant host material, but on susceptible cultivars, they can cover much of the leaf, causing chlorosis followed by necrosis and distortion of the lamina. Here, what we observed in this disease, we are observed chlorosis. Chlorosis means the colorless green color is going to loss. We can call it as chlorosis. And necrosis means where the tissue or the where the parenchyma or collenchyma and related the leaf or the leaf lamina or leaf. Whenever we are taking the section, the middle part of the leaf we are observed the mesophyll cells are contain the parenchymatous green parenchymatous tissue. The tissue is going to dead and decay, or the that disease we can call as necrosis, and the distortion of the leaf lamina. So these symptoms we are observed in the angular leaf spot of cotton. And the similar spots may be found on the cotyledons of young seedlings where infection occurs from the soil or seed during germination and emergence. Whenever we are sowing the seeds, the young seedlings also affected on this disease, my dear friends. The seed during germination and emergence, the disease may be in the soil-borne disease. Soil-borne means the disease grown from the soil. The pathogen lived in the soil. So this leaf shows how the black patches or black spots on the upper surface of the brown and black patches absorbed in upper surface. Whenever the spots in older stage, the spots in older stage we are absorbed under on the upper surface of the leaf lamina or leaf blade. Then under favorable condition, whenever the favorable conditions are occurred, then infection may spread very rapidly and from the seedlings, cotyledon or the leaf onto the petiole and then to the main stem, leading to seedlings mortality in susceptible cultivars. Here, what we observed, then whenever the favorable conditions are occurred, then favorable condition, the moisture is present in the environment, and even though the temperature is in a low temperature, more than 20 to 30 or 15 to 25 degrees Celsius is able to grow very rapidly. This is infect different various parts of the plant from seedlings or the cotyledons and petiole of the leaf and leaf lamina or leaf blade. Even though the young stem and the branches or the entire plant is going to affected by this disease. Then in older plants, the lesions can girdle the main branches, causing them to break with the loss of leaves and fruiting branches. This phase of the bacterial blight syndrome is known as the black arm, because of the blackened appearance of the affected petioles and branches. In this disease, whenever the disease in the older one, then automatically the branches is going to detach from the plant, and even though the leaves is going to fall down even with the petiole also. And fruiting bodies and fruits are the cotton bollworms also going to loss from the plant. So this syndrome we can call as the black arm disease. The black arm syndrome we are observed on the cotton plants. Okay, then sometimes infection on a leaf occurs as water-soaked tissue, which later turns black on either side of the main veins. This is referred as vein blight. and can occur together with or occasionally in the absence of angular leaf spot. Here, the vein blight also were observed on the water-soaked tissue, which later turns a black color either side of the veins. So, in leaf, we are observed the main veins are mid vein, along with the lateral veins also observed. The vein blight we are observed in this disease. So these are the cotton bolls. How affected? So this one is an earlier stage, and afterward, the whenever the disease is in a matured stage, the cotton bollworms have turned into the complete fall down from the branches or tree. In older plants, water-soaked lesions can occur on the bracts of the epicalyx and more commonly on the developing ball. Whenever the bacterial ball rot begins as roughly spherical water-soaked spots on the ball means cotton ball surface, which can expand to below the more than 1 centimeter in diameter, and susceptible cultivars become black as they age and penetrating the ball cortex to cause internal ball rot. The blight bacterium can also be introduced into the young ball during feeding on the seed by the cotton stainer. That is a Dysdraxus species. This causes the lint to become stained yellow or brown and sometimes lead into internal ball rot. So whenever this blight is going to the bacterium also introduced to the young ball, the bollworms, the cotton bolls is going to become the lint. Lint means, lint, the white colored internal thread-like structures, so that we can call as lint. The smooth lint is become stained, means different colors, yellow color, black or brown color patches we are observed on the lint of the cotton bolls. So see here, whenever the inflorescence stage, the cotton bolls how looks like here. So the leaf symptoms we are observed, the list of symptoms observed on the fruit, leaves and stems. Here, the fruit lesions, the black or brown color, then fruit lesions, even the scab or pitting region we are observed, and leaves, abnormal colors, the abnormal forms, and even the abnormal patterns also observed. The necrotic areas also observed on the surface, whether the lower surface, even though upper surface of the leaves. And stems, we going to the discoloration of the bark. The bark is also going to the color change we are observed on the stem or branches. So these are the bacterial blight we are observed on the lower surface of the leaf lamina. This is upper surface of the veins. The vein rot we are observed in this venal necrosis. Necrosis means the tissue is going to dead and decay, So this part we can call as the necrotic region. Necrotic region. Necrosis. Okay. So here. So this is the necrotic region, So this is the necrotic region. So venal necrosis we are observed. So ball rot. So cotton ball is going to discoloration and going to brown or black color, turn into black patches so observed on the surface of the cotton balls. Here, the leaf lamina angular, the leaf is normal leaf is going to the curled leaf. Curled leaf we are observed. The leaf we can call as angular leaf spots. The spots are observed on the surface of the leaf. So these are the some of the patches or spots we are observed on the surface of the cotton bolls and leaves. Are you visible? This slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then so whenever the seedlings is affected, the seedlings are affected. These angular leaf spot of cotton or even the bacterial blight, then automatically the seedlings is going to discoloration, and even though the younger stage, the plant is going to die. Here you are observed these gossypium species, different gossypium species. So the causal organism, which is the pathogen for this angular leaf spot of cotton, the main causal organism is Xanthomonas axanopodas malvacearum. So Xanthomonas malvacearum is the bacteria which is responsible for this angular leaf spot of cotton. So this is Xanthomonas axonopodus plant variety. PV means plant variety malvacearum. So this bacteria is a gram negative bacteria type, and this gram negative bacteria is a motile form. You know why? Because they have the flagella, and the bacteria is a rod shaped bacteria, and which is non-spore forming bacterium, and with a single polar flagellum. Single polar flagellum contain on this Xanthomonas bacteria. And the classification of this bacteria, the taxonomic position of this bacteria is kingdom bacteria, phylum, proteobacterian class, gamma proteobacteria, and order Xanthomonidales, family Xanthomonidaceae, genus Xanthomonas, species Axonopodis, plant varieties Malvacearum. Why we can call it as Malvacearum, my dear friends? Malvacearum means the cotton belongs to Gossypium herbaceum, Gossypium hirsutum, Gossypium arborum. These are the plants, or the species belongs to Malvaceae family. So our cotton plant belongs to Malvaceae family. That's why the Xanthomonas axonopodis species belongs to the plant variety Malvacearum. So on the base of the plants related to family, Malvaceae family, this plant variety is Malvacearum. So this Axonopodus Malvacearum in the culture, in the laboratory, looks like this color. Looks like this color. Then the host plant species affected, the Ceiba pentandra, not only in Malvaceae, not only in cotton plants, and also, my dear friends, Ceiba pentandra. So we can also call as copac plants. So Ceiba pentandra, Gossypium arboreum, that is cotton, Gossypium barbadense, Galini cotton, Gossypium herbaceum, short staple cotton, Gossypium hirsutum, bourbon cotton, and Jatropha curcas, Jatropha. So Jatropha is mainly in our India, and some governmental organizations and non-governmental organizations also motivate the farmers, or whenever the dry lands are not cultivated lands, this Jatropha is going to cultivate it. Why? Because the Jatropha used as a Jatropha seeds are used as a biodiesel, you know. So Jatropha curcas. So Jatropha curcas seeds can give the diesel for the fuel for the all auto in different areas of our country. And government also gives subsidy for this cultivation, and provide the drip irrigation methods also. Free of cost they are provide drip irrigation for cultivation of this large scale manner, for the producing of the lots of seeds, for the producing biodiesel. And this is about the disease cycle related to our disease. So this is infected seedlings. So these are the infected seeds. Whenever we are sowing the infected seedlings, also symptoms we are observed on the root, even though the cotyledons also. Then the infection of the leaf, whenever the infection leaves also we are observed whenever the leaf vascular tissue, the development of V-shaped lesions on the marginal side of the leaf lamina, leaf blade. So these are the V-shaped regions we are observed. So this is V-shaped. So this is V-shaped regions we are observed on the surface of the leaf lamina. So whenever these black patches we are observed, these are the symptoms we are observed. Symptoms we are observed. బంగ్లా మీద ఉన్నా, బంగ్లా మీద క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నా, బంగ్లా మీద ఉన్న క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నా. ఈయనే చెప్పు, ఎక్కడి దాకా వచ్చిండట? సరే చేస్తా. Yeah, so this is a black right in stem, black ring stem, xylem decay. Xylem decay. This is a systemic infection of the plant. Systemic infection means the complete plant is going to affected by this disease. So that infection we can call a systemic infection. Okay. So some of the epidemic Our local region is also affected. So that is we can call as so the complete plant is going to affect it. This is we can call as systemic infection. So here what we observed, so these are the hydrothodes. Hydrothodes, are you heard about the term hydrothodes? Hydrothodes. So hydrothodes, whenever the herbaceous plants can produce the droplets, water droplets in the evening and early morning, the droplets through hydrothodes, my dear friends. So hydrothodes is the special type of the tissue contain epithelium tissue present in that hydrothodes is able to produce the droplets of the marginal side of the leaves. So these also caused by infect the this disease of the healthy plants. So how to manage the disease? The control measurement against bacterial blight are necessary in all the main cotton growing areas of the world. The control is achieved mainly through the use of resistant varieties which have reduced the disease to a minor status on upland cottons in many countries where it was once a serious problem. To ensure that it remains a minor disease, it is necessary to avoid the introduction of exotic races of the pathogen on imported seed and to continue screening for blight resistance in cotton breeding programs. So main disease management program is to select the disease resistant varieties from the breeding station, and also the quarantine. The quarantine is more important whenever we are the bringing from the seeds of different areas or different countries. The quarantine is mainly identify whether the seeds are affected by different disease or different pathogens or not. So that is the most important plants for avoiding such type of disease. And even though the other races related to pathogens. Then host plant resistance. So this is most important, my dear friends. Host plant resistance is a main source for the resistance to the different pathogens of the controlling the disease. Okay. Then the chemical and antibiotic control. So as it occurs in months of September and November, 100 grams of the tetracycline and streptomycin, sulfate and plantamycin and fosamycin. Are you heard about these terms, my dear friends? Tetramycin, streptomycin, plantamycin. So which one is the first antibiotic drug? Which is the which is the first antibiotic, my dear?
Streptomycin.
First antibiotic. First antibiotic is penicillin, penicillin. So penicillin is the first antibiotic drug. So then afterwards, the numerous antibiotics are produced through the culture methods, tissue culture, and the biotechnology is developed. Numerous bacteria is able to produce different antibiotics. That is tetromycin, streptomycin, patamycin, fosamycin. These are the antibiotics. Should be sprayed or 3 to 4 times in every 15 days gap on the plants. So that's why the cotton cultivars or cotton cultivated farmers, they are spraying so many numerous times on the crop plants for the protecting from the different disease, and also even use the carbendazim. Carbendazim is a antifungal uh, uh, antifungal chemical or pesticide is 3 to 4 kg, 3 to 4 grams per kg of the seed eliminates seed-borne inoculum. Seed-borne inoculum. Whenever we are sowing of the seeds are treated with this carbendazim. It is very, very useful for the eliminating of this disease. And the foliar spray of combination of fosamycin and plantamycin, 100 mg plus 3 grams of the copper oxychloride per liter of water, 3 to 4 rounds at 15 days intervals from the time of disease appearance. So these are the control methods of this disease of angular leaf spot of cotton. Now we are going to discuss about the another disease, that is bacterial blight of paddy. So in our country, the major food source, the major food crops, cereal crop, that is paddy. Is it right or not? in the whole world, China, after China, the highest producer, highest cultivation of the field, or highest cultivation of the main food grains, that is paddy. Are you accept or not? So
Yeah.
cotton is a commercial crop. Cotton is not edible crop. Cotton is only useful for in the field of medicine, or in the field of health department, and also use different making of the cushions, and some of the other coils, are different not edible crop of the cotton. Whereas this paddy is a edible crop, so that's why this is very, very important for the protecting from different diseases, whether the viral disease or fungal disease or bacterial disease. So in this chapter, or in this topic, we are discussing about the how the bacterial blight is affecting of the on the crop field of the paddy, and the symptoms occurred or appearance in the which type of the pots, and what is the causal organism related to our bacterial blight, how disease cycle is shown on the which type it's taken, and how to control this disease in this topic, my dear friends. And the host plant is rice. What is the botanical name of the rice, my dear friends? What is the botanical name?
Oryza
Rice.
sativa.
Very good. Oryza
Sativa.
sativa is our rice or paddy. So Oryza sativa is our paddy. The casual organism of this bacterial blight of the paddy, that is Xanthomonas oryza. In earlier study, that is angular leaf spot of cotton is caused by Xanthomonas axenopodas plant varieties Malvacearum. But here, the Xanthomonas oryza means Oryza sativa. The main crop plant, that is Oryza sativa. That's why this casual organism we can call as Xanthomonas oryza. Okay, so in this oryza, the bacterial blight is a very common and widespread disease of paddy in Asia. Not only in Asia, the major crop field cultivated area, this bacterial blight is effect on the croplands. The disease was first reported from Japan in 1881. So Japan. In India, the disease was first reported in 1951 from Bombay. So in Bombay, first identified. The symptoms in bacterial blight in paddy, we are observed it is a foliar disease. Folia means folios. Leaf-like structure, leaf. So we have first symptoms we are observed on the surface of the leaf, my dear friends. And laterwards, and August and early or late August month of the rainy season, and causes maximum damage during the heading stage. Whenever the flowers and the flowering stage and the head is produced at the time, the maximum damage we are observed on the croplands. And it first appears as a water-soaked translucent spots on the leaf blade and leaf sheath. So in this slide, we are observed how the leaf blade shows different patches or different spots of different colors we are observed on the surface of the leaf. The spots gradually increase to form elongated yellow to straw-colored streaks, which may colsicate to form white blotches. The streaks usually develop from the tip towards the base. From the upper side to lower side, basipetal. In severely infected fields, infection may reach the grains. So when the symptoms very rapidly reach the grain area, that is head. The glooms become, what is glooms, Uma? What is glooms? We are observed in the spike or spikelets of the spike, or the inflorescence we can call as the spike, the fruits. The inflorescence as spike, the spike or spikelets contain these glooms. Though the glooms become discolored and water-soaked spots developed on the glooms. Then casual organism of this plant, that is the pathogen responsible for the bacterial blight of paddy, is Xanthomonas oryza. It is an aerobic and rod-shaped bacteria, are non-capsulated, spore forming gram negative bacteria like Xanthomonas axinopodes malvacearum. So same here our bacteria is also gram negative rod shaped non spore forming negative bacteria, and which is have a single the motile form, the single flagella contain this bacteria also. And the size of this bacteria 0.5 to 0.8 and 1 to 2 micrometer in size. It is motile with a single polar flagellum. We know that the bacterium produces waxy yellow colored colonies on agar media and is incapable to reduce nitrates. So this is the main identification. So this is incapable to reduce nitrates. So this is the first symptom, first identification feature. The optimum temperature for its growth is 28 to 30 degrees. So this is the favorable condition. You know, the whenever favorable conditions occur in August, earlier late August month of the rainy season, it is very vastly or widely spread all over the crop field of the paddy. Its thermal death point is 53 degrees Celsius. Whenever the temperature is high condition, the bacterium is going to death. That is the 53 degrees Celsius. And the disease cycle we are explained here. We are going to explain here. It is principally vesicular disease. Vesicular disease. So the seeds and disease stubble are mainly the primary sources of infection. The primary sources of infection in seeds, my dear friends. The secondary infection spreading due to wind-borne rain splashes and grains entry into the host through wounds and stomata of the plant. Wounds and stomata of the plants. Then high doses of nitrate and silicate and magnesium in the soil. Whenever this soil is contain these high dose nitrates and silicate and magnesium, the disease is spread very rapidly. So why? Because we are not with unknowingly or unknowingly we are spreading. We are spreading this urea or inorganic manure. So that's why that is also caused by spreading of this disease, my dear friends. And this is the disease cycle, how the primary and secondary spread cycle we are observed, my dear friends. Okay. Nana. వచ్చిండి ఆయన సరే సరే రైట్. And my dear friends, so the how to control the disease. The disease control, the following measures we can adopted to control the disease incidents. One of the good measure is to treat seeds with 0.025% water solution of agrimycin. So agrimycin plus 0.05% wettable session for 12 hours and then transfer them to hot water treatment at 52-54 degrees Celsius for 3 minutes. So the 53 degrees Celsius is the death point of this bacteria. Are you accept or not? 28 to 30 degrees is a very adaptive environment for the rapid spread of this bacteria. But 52-54 degrees Celsius is the death point of this disease. So hot water treatment is very important for the control of this spreading of this disease, my dear friends. And initial infection can be checked by dipping seeds for 8 hours, 0.1% sersan wet plus streptomycin antibiotic and 0.3 gram in 2.5 gallons of water. So this is the control measure of these bacterial blight in paddy. And even though the spraying agrimycin plus copper oxychloride for 5 times at 12 days intervals prevents secondary spread, and chlorination of irrigation water also helps in reducing infection. The chlorine, we can chlorination also important for the control or reducing of the infection. And burning of infected straw and stubble to destroy the bacterial present also a good measure for the control of this disease. So and by sowing of nursery beds in disease free isolated areas to prevent the inflow of primary inoculum into fields, then pruning of top portions of the host should be avoided by cultivating resistant varieties. These are the cultivating varieties of the paddy, my dear friends. Ratna and W529, 348, IR22, IR20 and 22, and Sati. So these are the different varieties of the resistant varieties of the this bacterial blight of the paddy. So this is about today's topic. My dear friends, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Madam, my dear friends.
హలో చెప్పండి సార్.
Is there any doubt, my dear friends?
Girls, if you any doubt, ma? Today is the last class.
No, sir.
Okay, my dear friends, I am with very much of a pleasure and happy because of the this pandemic situation. Corona is uh, this much of friends we have from different places of the twin cities. So I'm very happy because of my knowledge, sharing of my knowledge among my beloved friends. I'm very happy. Madam, thank you very much. And my dear friends, Haruna and Chandana, Nikita, and some of the other Harika and friends, thank you very much for listening with patiently and sharing of our knowledge among these during these couple of days. So if you have any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, I will stop here.
Girls, today is the last class, our class. We will be to meet next semester, girls. The
And
second
even though valedictory section, madam, my personal request is in the valedictory section also. Some please join these students because of they are the sharing of their views among
Okay, sir.
our friends and our respected colleagues also. So that is also very very important for any rectification, even though continuation of our subject for
Sure,
next
sir.
semester also.
I will
Okay, madam. Thank you very much.
definitely arrange, sir. Sure, sir. Girls, if you
Okay,
any
madam.
doubt,
Thank you.
say, sir, thank you. Girls.
Thank you, sir.
Very much,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thank,
sir.
Thank you, sir.
okay. This much of greetings. I'm very, very wholeheartedly thankful to you, my dear friends. Definitely, we will meet in physically in our college also. I will come to our college, that is RBVR Reddy Women's College, one of the prestigious college. Definitely, we will meet. And even though we will meet in our Google Meet for next semester also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Girls, did you really enjoy the class?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you, girls.